Hi there again. I'd like to thank all my subscribers for keep coming back and some of the great comments and some of the great tips I get from other dinky restoration people. It really helps. I got a mug for my daughter, Mr. Perfect. I'll take that. So I went to a friend's and he had a Avro Vulcan Delta Wing Bomber. The number is 749, and of course it's Dinky Toys, made in England, Meccano Limited. And there's wheelbases off here and here, and I said to him I'd see what I could do, and I looked for metals, and I found a flat sheet metal, but I don't really like it. But then I found this wing nut from some kind of an old tripod or something, obviously, but I'm going to use it because it's more the same metal as this. Cut it. I'm going to cut this to the same shape as this little one here and try to pin it on. I just realized the front's missing as well. Wow, got a lot of work ahead of us. So here we go. Back at it. Save another toy. I just cut off one of these wings here, so now I got 3 stances to work on. I only need 2. That'll be a backup one. There you go, and then we got to drill it and work on it. Yeah, so I've got a little drill hole here, so it's looking pretty good on both sides. It's gone through, of course, and on the other side I have decided to make a slot, so it goes on. If you can see this here, I'll get it in the shot. This piece of tin, I slotted this here, the plane there. Can you see that? Nope. Yeah, there we go. I slotted this here with the Dremel and the blade. Now I'm going to epoxy this little piece of tin in here, and then epoxy this piece on top and let it harden and see how it is tomorrow. Tin in here. Big fat fingers I got. There we go. Oh, it's sticking to my finger. There you go. And then this comes down on top of it in the slot. Oh. There we go. Open that up. And that's going to glue on there like that. Oops, there it stands. Perfect. If only I had glue on it. And then I'll file it in and it'll be pretty perfect. Voila! Yeah, so I've just given it a little Dremel so it's a little bit the right thickness, and we're going to give it a little file here in the bottom, shape the half round down here, a rough shape quickly and see what we got. It's looking good. I have a big hunk here I got to get rid of with the Dremel, I think, so I'll do that next. Yeah, I'm just filing the side here, it's a little bit bulgy. Putting a bit of tin underneath here so I don't scratch the plane too much. And it's fairly scratched anyways, but I just don't want to make a mark there. Now it's beginning to shape up. Beginning to look like what I want it to look like. A little bit wide on the back still, on this side here. I also have the numbers here and I don't want to hit the numbers. So here we are with the Avro Vulcan again, and here's the front wheel, but this has got a niche in it, it's not flat, so I'm just going to take this file, make it nice and flat so that my piece goes on there. So this will match up with that nicer when it's filed. I'll take my fingers out of the way a sec. There we go. I want to need these pieces to match up with this when it's filed. So I'll get a tweezers and you can see it. It's going to go on there like that. It's a little bit narrower, maybe the other one would be better. It doesn't make much difference. I got a little hole in this one already, and I'm going to try a little pinhole in this time. Yeah, so I'm going to give it a little counter punch right here in the center. I don't have the self-actuating punch which you've all chatted about. I'll have to get one. And I find out that these little drills don't work on high speeds too well. They just crack off, so I'm slowing them way down now to see what happens. Now that should do it. Yeah, so I've made one that's a little bit wider and bigger, and I'm going to try to place that exactly on there. I'm going to put a pinhole in it now, drill a hole in this, and see if it fits the pin, and we'll go from there. Can you see that? There we go. See that it fits on there, and you know, if you get a larger one, you can always bring down the sides to fit the square, because the pin could be a little bit off left, right, back and forth, because you're not drilling through one to the other. Yeah, so I found a little copper wire piece. It goes in there, and basically that's how it's going to fit. And if I tap this a little with a bit of epoxy, that's what I want. That'll be the front wheel somehow. I don't know how it's shaped yet, but I can shape that in there. It's nearly dead on here, which is a bit too close, but I'll file that a little bit, and we'll shape whatever we need. Now I got to remove it and epoxy it on. So I've made the J-pay the weld, and just put it in there, a little bit down the hole. I'm just being over careful, I suppose. And then we'll put the pin in. There it goes. Tap it a little. We don't want it down too far. And then I'm going to take my post, and I'm going to smear all over it, of course. And drop that on top here. Oh, so do it so you can see it, and I'll get a tongs here. I think it only goes one way. I don't know which way. I think this way. Then, oops. That didn't work too well. There we go. Make sure it's straight. Tighten that a little bit more and tap that down. Needs a little bit of a twist. Like that. There we go. I should be able to file that in place afterwards. I didn't do too many markings on these things. And there it is. And I'm going to leave that dry and shape it whatever way I want. So there you go. There's the piece in. I actually took it out again and ground it down a little more. It was a bit too much to file. And now I can actually file it to the shape I want. And you know, if you're a little off center, you can see you can still get away with it by filing the piece after it's put on. So there we go. That's that done. We're going to leave that dry overnight, and then I'll shape it later. So I've got both that and this back wheel here. I'll take this. And this back wheel here, and I've just refilled it a bit to make it look cleaner, so I can give it its final shape. And then I'm going to shape this one, and it's going to look good. And I've kind of cleaned up here a bit too. Whoops, sorry. That always happens to me on this because I'm so close. So let's go back a bit. There we go. So I cleaned up a little bit this too because they had lines, scratch lines down it. Put a bit of silver plus a bit of bronze in there. I'm going to have to touch it up again when I'm finished. Yeah, so I got the wheels on. I'm just going to file now a little. I'm going to get my file here. Be really careful and maybe a bit of tin on the lettering here so I don't damage any of it. And try to clean this up just a little bit. Very lightly so you don't pull it off. Now there's a tin piece in that and there's a pin in this. This one's too wide still. You can use a Dremel if you want, but sometimes the glue gets too hot. And when the glue gets too hot it melts. Or it just falls off. It weakens it. So you put in the diamond, little diamond round head here. And you turn on your Dremel and you do circular movements. You get rid of all the scratches. Turn it up a little more. There we go. It's looking really quite good now. And I'm going to do the other side here. There's scratches on this surface here, and I'm trying to remove them lightly.